Welcome to the
Hello, hello.
Ryan Dosa podcast. Today we are joined by another other than number six, Hera Island,
You're
Sekou
wilding.
Hera. Sekou Hera,
Mm.
how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Today's a chill Wednesday. I worked on my capstone, or was supposed to, and then now I'm just chilling. I had a scheduled appointment with you. Yeah.
Same. Yeah, I'm
How's your
between
day?
work right now. I'm headed back to LA Fitness
Okay.
in like a few hours. Had a couple morning clients, a couple evening clients, you know the deal. Just munched on some rice cakes.
Okay. Ew.
What was that?
I said ew.
Oh, you be munching on that ramen, huh?
No, hold on. Mm. Okay. Here we are. I was adjusting my mic volume, but yeah, no, I haven't eaten that in a while.
Oh, your volume's low too, huh?
Or just my input. You can hear me clearly though.
No, I can hear you. It's just hella low.
Mm.
Um, huh. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
That's a lot better.
Okay,
I hope
bet.
it's still. I hope it's Oh well, fuck it. We ball. If it doesn't work, we'll just redo it.
All right.
I just hope it's recording the audio. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. All right, cool. So we got a host of topics to jump into. All right, that you shot me. So let's just start from the top, right? We got 40 minutes too. We got 40 minutes until it kicks
40
us off.
minutes? Okay,
Got
bet.
40 minutes to get through all
Okay.
these. All right. So number one, Forex. How are we feeling about that?
Forex. I was actually thinking about Forex the other day, and I feel like we kind of all do. Like, where were you summer 2018? You know, Forex was booming. What was it? Platinum 3 million, this, that. And it's like, no offense to those people, because some of those people were close friends, but like, where is that now? Or like, what happened? I just want to know the story. I've sat in those Forex meetings. I saw the pyramid drawn up. Literal pyramid scheme. But then it's interesting because you look at some of these people, or at least the people I was around, well, they weren't like bums. Like there were people in Hollywood Hills with mansions and stuff like that. So you're kind of intrigued, you're like, there is some money being generated here, but it's probably, or not probably, it could be through Forex, but you got to be the big fish or you got to get to the pyramid early, you know, to eat,
Yep.
to eat. Yeah. But then like it's just tough to do that when you're an underling and there's so many people involved, I guess. But yeah, I just say RIP. I just want to know the story of like how that all fell. I know every like I feel like if you went to Forex, you naturally moved on to like Bitcoin, you know what I mean? Or like some other like currency,
Right.
But yeah, yeah. RIP. Your thoughts?
Very similar to it's a pyramid scheme.
Pyramid
It's
scheme.
a pyramid scheme. I
Hmm.
understand that you have to put food on the table, but
Yeah, I do get that.
you know, um,
Get it how you live.
yeah.
Mhm.
Crude oil.
Are you actually going down these?
What
Like
is crude oil?
crude oil is like raw gasoline, like raw oil, like raw
Okay.
fossil fuel, right? Get it out the ground. I only said that because it's a commodity my dad trades on the stock market. And he's been trading it, been pretty successful with it, whatnot. Um, if we're gonna talk crude oil, fossil fuel, where are we at with that? That's only a limited resource. We all know we got to phase out of that eventually. And it's like, do we want to do that now and make that jump, or still remain ignorant and just keep on using fossil fuels like crude oil, polluting the planet, and whatnot? You
Feel that. Bitcoin.
know?
What are your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Um, I wish I was more versed in it early on because it was like a hot word, like in 2020, like and everyone knew money was around it. I think it's cool. I think it's great. Um, yeah, I just wish I was on it earlier, honestly. And it's plateaued now, but everyone believes it's gonna bump up again. Yeah.
Hmm.
You think
Yeah.
opposite?
No, man, man, I'm not getting into it. I had a client like August of 2021 before it hit that last kind of big like
Hmm.
summer 2021, and he's like
Hmm.
jump on it, jump on. Like he moved from the houses in Reseda just purely off of his Bitcoin money. He was able to move to a Reseda house up to the top of Reseda. He
Oh yeah,
made
that's
6
the
million.
Port
Like, oh
Ranch.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
Hmm.
no, 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 not that, like that Reseda, like the Tarzana Reseda.
Oh, Tarzana
That,
Reseda.
yeah,
Okay,
the top
okay,
of that
dang,
Reseda. He
yeah.
he was able to
Mhm,
move from like one of those townhouses up to the top of the hill just off of Bitcoin, quit his job, put his kids through
dang.
school, 6 million. And so he
Hmm.
was advising me. He's like, jump on it. I was like, he's like, I'll pay you everything back. He's like, invest 2,000 right now. If it doesn't, I will personally pay you back. I'm like, man, ultimately I didn't do it, but he was right. If I had invested 5,000 a month later, I could have made 20,000 if I pulled at the right time. And he was going to tell me when to pull. But anyway, I'm not worried about it because it's not sustainable. It's kind of like a casino,
You're
you
right.
know?
It's not sustainable, but like you say, when you hear stories like that, I've heard stories like that, or like propositions, or you see where you could have been. That's where it's like more enticing, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
uh, for sure.
Okay.
But
How are we? What are stonks?
stonks, stocks, stonks, same word, tomato, tomato. Meme word, hot word. I only threw it out there because uh just of trading like stock market and whatnot. But if you want to talk stocks, what I think about it, I think trading like Nasdaq is really cool, really nice, but you have to have a lot of capital already. It's kind of tough for someone like me and you, just to go in there and to start Wall Street in it. But there are those miracle stories, and that's why I think our generation is a lot more attracted to Bitcoin because you don't need capital like that at all, or like put 5,000 in, or like 10, 20, yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, stocks.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Um, there's been so it's 2023. There's been um a lot of cultural shift in the last century surrounding gender identity and how we kind of navigate that as not only individuals but societally. um
Mm-hmm.
what are kind of how do you think about all that, and what do you think are kind of the ethical implications of this kind of postmodern world that we're living in?
It's definitely like different, but like, we gotta accept one another and whatnot. My thing is be comfortable in your own skin, of course. Be you. That's like I feel like why we're all here. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out who we are, be yourself to the maximum. And in terms of like how you said it's shifting, um, I feel like our generation's like completely like with it, fine with it. Just good luck, passing it on to like those older heads, more conservative types. But they're gonna die out. So yeah,
I'm sorry.
I said, but they're gonna die out.
They're
They're
gonna
gonna
die
die out,
out.
and yeah. So it's like, yeah, when you kind of look at it, it's like inevitable because it's just like, yeah, mm,
Yeah. They're not gonna make it to the singularity like us, right?
exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah.
um how how many genders are there?
Two.
Why two?
Well, why? Whatever number there, I don't know what number we're at. Let me do a quick Google.
I think it's the difference, right? So you have gender, and then you have kind of like How would you say?
Hmm.
Did you Google it?
Yeah, but I was actually super curious if Google would give me a specific answer. They don't, which is safe on Google's part. Play both sides. Of course you have two, but then they include all the other seven identities,
Oh, it has
which
seven.
yeah, but then it's yeah, there's seven or something like that. Yeah, what would you say?
How many genders are there?
Yeah, as of 2023.
Well, that's the thing I'm trying to figure out, right? Because I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant on the subject. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Same. I'd
But
say same, somewhat. Yeah.
the the same, yeah, I get like they talk about how there's kind of like gender, and then there's also kind of I don't know what the word like your idea like your birth gender, your
Yes.
biological,
Yes,
your
I've
right.
heard that.
So
I've heard that.
okay,
Yeah.
so it gets interesting. So there is actual evidence that there can be kind of some switcheroos going on at the biological level. Um,
Hmm.
with for example, like a book Roxana had me, there's evidence that some females, if they're exposed to excessive testosterone in the womb, they'll actually kind of think and have certain characteristics of a man. They'll be attracted to like a certain thing if they're exposed, and this is literally before they're born, before they have a choice. And
Mm,
so there does seem to be cases where we do have individuals that have kind of the soul of like a man or a woman, but they're in
okay.
the opposite body. And
Yeah.
so what do you think we ought to do with those individuals in society?
Is it up to us to determine them? Does that make sense? Like, I think it's more so up to that individual. Like, I don't know. The way you just worded that's weird. Like, my choices are like on that individual.
Like
Okay.
like like how do we think about that? Is that
Okay.
is that
Okay.
okay? Is that not okay?
I mean, we're progressing further and further with science and research. So, of course, we got to put some insight into it. Yeah, to an extent, and then not to an extent, it is okay because, like you said, that's pre-birth, pre-everything, right? But definitely take a more good look into it for sure, for sure. And then I guess it does. I guess I am still remaining ignorant then if that research is coming out day by day, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's tricky because like I'm with you in the sense that I know you kind of tend to think a little bit more conservatively on it.
Hmm.
There are two.
For sure.
That being said, though, right, too much of a good thing can be bad in the sense of if we do just kind of, and I'm not saying that, but things do tend to get pushed to an extreme. Um, and so it's nice to kind of have a happy kind of little balance between it. And I like, for example, like let me try to give it like I agree. I think that in those cases, like I just described, if there is like an excess, there's like a biological, I think it should be totally cool.
Hmm.
Like when I was playing T-ball when I was young, and there was a um biological girl. She was born a biological girl, but from like before she even knew like what sex was, she was a boy. Like she played with the boy. She literally was on my team as like her hair. We thought she was a boy. She thought she was a boy before she knew all
Oh,
that
like
shit.
it wasn't even like
Yeah,
tomboy. It was like just
like it's just who she.
okay,
And so
yeah, yeah.
yeah, like in those cases, like it's so I think it would alleviate the suffering of everyone involved to allow that. I think it would be
Mhm.
kind of silly not to. Um, but
So then where does that play in like competitive sports then?
that's the question. That's a
Like
great example. So
mhm.
sports, right? So let's say you have a biological someone born biologically a man, and then they want to compete as a female.
But
That's
every
tricky. Yeah.
every case of that man, woman, whatever, has dominated the sport. And then they start complaining. And I'm just like, well, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know what to say here. Like, yeah, I
That's
don't know.
to play both sides, right? Okay, so I'll give
Yeah.
you both arguments. So you have the conservative argument, which is no, like, this is
Hmm.
ridiculous, um, by like there's just advantages. It's just so silly. And then you have the liberal kind of argument. I'm sure a lot of liberals will argue, like, look, it's so rare in occurrence. It's like, okay, like one in every 5,000 competitions is going to have an instance of this. So number one, it's so
Yeah.
rare. And then number two, they could honestly, that might be the only. I'd be interested to hear what the counter arguments are, but it's a tricky
That's
situation.
a super slippery slope. Yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, but I'm glad we're able to talk about it, and
for sure.
hopefully neither of us said anything dumb enough to get us canceled, but yeah, but yeah. Um can you tell us a little bit about the rate model?
Oh, you have to, what's it called? Under the text. Look under that.
Oh.
Just the Tate model.
What's the Tate model?
I I actually think it's insane. It's kind of wild. This is kind of how he blew up. I was just listening to a couple podcasts from a lot of different perspectives, and my whole thoughts on Tate were kind of skewed. I was just like, oh, who's this dude blowing up on my TikTok, whatever. It's pretty red pill, uh, big in the manosphere, which is cool. And then I put more detail into him because people were hating on him. And then I'm like, oh, he's actually not that bad, but he does have a couple. You have to take a couple things with a grain of salt, you know. But the Tate model, if I'm saying this correctly, is basically his marketing strategy of how he blew up, because he didn't market anything. He didn't pay for nothing. He doesn't have any of these accounts. It's just a bunch of kids that sign up through his, what's it called? What's the term? Your monthly.
Manosphere
No. When you sign up for
newsletter.
subscription, yeah, your monthly
Yeah.
subscription, right? Easy peasy. And through the in his I forget, it's like his through his website, and it's like kind of like like, who told me this? Was it you who told me it's kind of like a frat, or I think it was someone else? But anywho, did they do these? You sign up for the subscriptions? You do these. You're assigned to these random tasks, like, oh, go pick this dude up from the airport. Like, go repost this, and it's through your marketing. You're getting your marketing through your the people that are through your subscribers. Does that make sense? So it's kind of wild, actually. These people are paying you and marketing you at the same time, and so he just sits backseat, right? And you're promised as a subscriber to learn income, learn strategies, but there's levels to it, you know. So you got to do all this BS first, and then get to the meat and potatoes, you know. So you want me to repeat that or no?
I'm not sure I understand.
The Tate model. Me, a subscriber, right? I want to learn about making money, doing whatever Andrew Tate does,
Okay.
living the Dubai lifestyle.
Sure.
I pay X amount a month through his subscription service. And what you do is you have to be an active subscriber. You don't just sit there and just read stuff. You got to be doing stuff. So he'll have you do literally like weird stuff, like go repost this post or repost this on TikTok, post this thing. You see what I'm saying? And you're a subscriber. Remember that. Your card is literally paying this dude monthly, and you're marketing him for free, right? Just think of this from Andrew Tate's perspective. You're not doing anything. So and then you're doing that, and then you're learning all these tips and tricks how to make more money. And then he's even saying that he has examples of kids making well over millions, etc. And I'm just like, this worked enough to where this guy blew up to this point, and he has not had to do anything. And kids are making, yeah, like he's not had to do anything, and kids are making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars by monetizing his reposted clips on just podcasts on TikTok. And I'm just like, this is absurd. Like, yeah.
Wait, why are
it's
so
wild.
he's telling them he's producing content and he's telling them to repost it?
Mm-hmm.
And then by reposting it, their accounts blow up, they get paid
Because they're monetizing those accounts. Yes. Wow.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around like what is he? Okay, don't it's a okay. Andrew Tate.
I was just
Very
like, just that,
controversial.
yeah, he's controversial. Just that in its own was
Yeah.
pretty genius. But I was like, everything else
It's
is, yeah.
it's clever. I don't know if it's wise, but it's clever. There's a difference
There is.
between being clever and being wise. So um he's a mixed bag. Like my inclination is like, what is he saying that's so valuable that it's like making other people like what is it? But then
No, it's like business strat plus Sigma male, like, and then it just appeases to like, incels or like, that's kind of like harsh, but people that are down low, which is good. Those people need stuff like that. But then it's like not everyone's gonna make it. Not everyone's gonna be a Tate. We all, So yeah.
Yeah, I feel you hit the nail on the head there.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's much I need to add to that.
Yeah,
Is
pretty.
Obama a Muslim?
Absolutely not. Um, I can think back to, I want to say maybe that was '08. Correct me if I'm wrong. When Obama got elected, where were you, Doza? Do you remember just the slander on this man's name? Like, where were
2008.
you?
I wasn't even conscious back then. I was
Really?
just
I was
skateboarding.
like,
I
bro,
was,
I was pretty conscious to when that was a pretty big
yeah.
leap, like
Mhm.
me being black and everything. And oh, Obama's a Muslim. Got like, just people that are ignorant, a bunch of just hicks. I'll just say it. Like people that are just uneducated. Dude was born in Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like he went, you know this. He went to he's an alma
Yeah.
mater at Oxy. Yeah. Yeah, great man. There's like there's people like there's not like stories of him young and all that, being born in Hawaii, regular. I'm not gonna assume his religion, but just a regular like kid. And when they say he's Muslim, they're trying to say that he's not a citizen as well. Just ignorant stuff like that. Like, and I remember like my parents were like just kind of like educating me on what's going on. Like, first black president. This is pretty big. Not a lot of people are gonna like that. And just that alone was kind of like wild. But yeah, no, I don't think he's definitely not a Muslim, just a regular dude. Yeah. You said he is?
Huh?
You said
Do
he
I think
is?
no, I don't I know people would say that. It's like, oh, Obama's the buzz. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't
very
know.
outlandish. Yeah. And then those people can't
Yes.
cite that. Hmm.
Yeah. Was Crespi football
Ooh,
positive trauma?
let me sit up. Let me
Let me sit up straight.
let me sit up.
Sit up straight.
Was Crespi football positive trauma? Okay. I don't know about, I'm gonna go ahead and speak for a lot of people, maybe. Like, something related to Crespi pops up in my head at least once every day. Is that safe to say for you, Dosa, or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, why is that? Or Crespi football. And I'm like, maybe it's all the funny times, or we just try to make fun of the traumatic stuff, the prowlers, the gassers, the hooting and hollering, the lifting. We definitely worked harder than I think anyone else. We had the craziest schedules. I was thinking about that. I was doing that on top of the Korean SAT boot camp. I was literally laughing about that the other day. But we learned so much from that. That's why I think it's positive, because I don't think none of that stuff was like negatively based. It was all to make you a better man, or boys to men, like they like to say. The Crespi man, right? Definitely harsh. There was just so much to learn, like from Gardner, Troy, even though we ran bone a lot, but like still, like there was just so much, like, um, just I don't know. I'll bring it back to even the coaches because they were harsh on us, or at least Troy was. But like he'd still like sit you down after, give you like a man-to-man lecture on like what you got to do, what you got to uphold. And I remember those times a lot. So I'd say it was definitely like a heavy experience, but definitely way more positive because we all came out as men and we all, or like I hope so, but we all came out as we should, and we all know what we should be doing because that, yeah, that's still just heavily ingrained. It's just kind of weird. And then Kairos, come on. Like I can't speak on specific things, but that's a one-on-one experience. It's super different now, but for what it was, yeah, Crespi was good positive trauma. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, they always say there's always a silver lining.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And it's just funny because a lot of people will question me on it, or they're like, "Oh, where'd you go to high school?" I'm like, "I went to all boys high school." You already know the assumptions and whatnot, and then I can't really put in the words like kind of like what it's like, because it's a lot different. But yeah, wouldn't trade it for anything. So I'll keep it.
Yeah, same.
Mhm,
Same.
mhm, mhm. What would you say about that?
I've had a lot of time to reflect. Um, I remember specifically my senior year, they gave us those like pictures, those like portraits, whatever, um, with our numbers on it, like the whole thing,
Oh yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
I
The fake.
remember getting that shit. Yeah, I remember just throwing that shit in the trash, like breaking it over my
I
knee.
remember, dude. I think
Right.
yeah, you told me that. Yeah,
You know, I remember doing that. I remember, yeah, just not sleeping. Like when I found out that I wasn't gonna start, and then when I found out I wasn't gonna play, um,
yeah. I didn't really think
not
about it like
yeah,
that.
it's like not because that was my entire identity. My sole success, like whether I was like good in life, was
Mhm.
directly related to how what I was doing on the field. And so finding out like when it hit me like shit, like I'm not gonna play, I couldn't sleep. Like not just like no, like I was shaking. Like I remember going to bed like shit, like feeling like I was gonna die. Like my identity was so, and so just slowly kind of easing off of that. Then I got into bodybuilding, which is a whole nother fucking psychedelic trip. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, like I said, I had a lot of time to reflect, and like in Nietzsche, the philosopher Nietzsche talks about how he's
Hmm.
usually as he's the most indebted to the hardest years of his life because the suffering that you go through, it's kind of the pain that drives you forward to do something great in life.
That's
Um,
yeah. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And you kind of just reminded me, like you did kind of, yeah. Your Crespi football experience was a little different, you know. And like, I think you already know how we all feel about that. It's complete BS. So then you still, like you said, silver lining and everything. Did you think you still found the silver lining like in there? Of course, right? Yeah.
yeah, no, I learned a lot. I learned that, and this is maybe controversial, but um, hard work isn't enough. It's not. There's many other factors. There, you have genetics, you have just luck, sheer luck, right? Like I don't.
Hmm.
Hard work's very important, but there's factors that are outside of your control. Um,
I mean, there's
and-
coaching politics. That's all I could say, at least in your position. I don't think it was a matter of genetics or like, I don't know.
it was a whole host of things, but I could tell you, like before that situation, I was under the impression my worldview was that it's like okay, yeah, genetics a little bit, but like, I thought it was like 80% hard work. I thought like
It
you can do
is, bro.
anything,
But I'm
like
like, bro, what? It is hard work, you know that. But there are those rare cases where there's people that don't have to work hard for nothing, you know?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like if you look at if we were to graph it, talent in any kind of given domain, it's kind of like a bell curve, right? So most people are in the
Hmm.
middle, and then you get these extremes. And so yeah, hard work is going to kind of get inch you, but at the end of the day, like when talent fails to work hard, like all that bullshit.
Yeah,
like
I know
it's
that
true.
one.
Like
Yeah.
but you're fucked. Like I heard a quote the other day. It was the reverse of that. It's like it's like, oh, you could, when talent fails to work, you could beat it, but when talent works hard, you're fucked no matter what you do. Like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
talent, like that's an example. That's like Michael Jordan,
Hmm.
Kobe Bryant. That's talent working hard.
For
That's
sure, for
rare.
sure. For rare,
But
rare.
yeah, no, I fell in love with bodybuilding because it's an individual, like I know I'm not gonna ever make money off of, like I'm never gonna step on the Olympia
But it's
stage,
what
even.
you like and love. So
But yeah, I love seeing the
mm-hmm.
progress. Like I love seeing the,
Mm-hmm.
I'm addicted to it. I love, and it gives me a metaphor for other areas of my life.
Wait, no offense.
So
How do you make money in that? Just from
with
shows? Is it shows?
it's a good question. Naturally, no, it's a passion. I don't do it for money at all.
Well, no, I'm
I
like
train, I
asking,
train people.
like, if you just don't make money in bodybuilding at all, like,
Me,
even if you win a show,
bodybuilding in general or me?
bodybuilding in general.
You can't, okay, so
Mm.
there's two, okay, you have enhanced bodybuilding, untested, we'll
Ah.
call it. You have untested and you have natural tested, okay?
Why would there even be
Very
two then?
important to make that
Yeah, yeah,
distinction,
yeah.
okay?
Hmm.
So yeah, obviously I compete in tested
The
natural, right? So
untested.
everyone on stage is supposed to be
Okay.
natural. Every now, like one in 50, 1 in 100, 1 in 200, depends. Like we'll get popped, they'll like urine test. Oh, you have this in your system. They test us, so they'll pop, and like people get popped. So it's rare, but most
Damn.
of us are natural. And then you have
Okay.
untested. They don't anything go. It's off the table. They'll still like, they don't encourage it. They don't, but like it's like kind of like
And yeah.
don't ask, don't tell kind of like it's just
Okay.
not
Okay.
that's what Ronnie Coleman, like Jay Cutler, like the top guy, like
Uh,
Arnold back in the day would compete and
that's
just
like
like
gross
open
though.
it. Yeah, because the drug, yeah, it's like
Like that's
chemical
like,
warfare.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's pretty cool when you see someone's like, oh damn, like that's natty, like, yeah, like, and then it's like when we see
Yeah,
her before, and it's like, oh
yeah,
snap, like he really worked for that. Like, so that's cool. I like that. That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, but
That's how
like
you
to
live.
answer your question, like how do you, so in the untest you can make money. Like the guy that just won the Olympia, shit, they paid him 400,000 for first place. And
Damn.
then yeah, you get, but natural, no, you're not making shit. I mean, you pay $300 to compete and you'll win like $100.
That makes
You're not
absolutely
making
no
shit. No,
sense.
you lose money. No one gives a
Wait, is
fuck.
it like one of those things where it's like you're doing it for like a chance at sponsors or like meet, like,
No, if you're, yeah, there's some people that are like, oh, I'm trying to get, but no, that's not what's driving. There's so much pain and suffering involved. That's not driving you. With something that's not, no, you're not doing it for it. That might be cool. Like some people,
like
oh, I got
who's
sponsored.
who's your creatine supplier?
I just fucking buy in bulk from Amazon.
I'm
But
just saying, what if you just had a regular whatever creatine, your daily, and they're like, hey, Ryan, we like your work. You drink our product, let us sponsor you. And it's like
it,
that will motivate you more. It's like, damn, like,
no, it would be a nice
oh, okay.
affirmation, but it would
Affirmation.
it would it would be a nice
Yeah.
affirmation. But no,
Hmm.
I like to. I've actually I've been approached by kind of companies about like supplement vitamins, like hey, promote my shit, and I take one.
Yeah.
I'm just like fuck, bro. These people wanted me to promote ketamine.
What do you mean?
Ketamine injection. They were
Ew.
ketamine, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's like horse
they were,
tranquilizer.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing it in humans, and they're I guess there's some research that it's like it can help heal PTSD, and
No.
no, I wouldn't do it. I don't anything that, because it degrades the quality of your brand when you're posting that shit. Like it depends on
Yeah,
that. Some
yeah.
supplements are cool, like
Mhm.
creatine, protein, sure, okay, like like beetroot, grass fed, like ashwagandha KSM 66, like it's like what the,
It's just
it
there's
doesn't
so much
work.
in there. It doesn't work. You just only need
It
one of
doesn't fucking
those.
work. No,
Wait, you stopped with ashwagandha?
ashwagandha is cool. I
I
just,
never got on that one,
it's
but
cool. There's evidence to suggest it does. I don't know if it's worth the money. It's because it's such a minor effect. It's like most people that I follow, they say, oh yeah, I take it, but like to be honest, I can't even notice if it's working or not.
yeah.
But there is scientific data suggesting drops in, very minor drops in cortisol production.
Yeah.
But um, I see we have 3 minutes left. Do you want to delve into astrology or eating habits?
Let's be both. Like, I don't know. I talked with asking all the time on this one. Like, it's fake. Like, I think it's a really fun topic, great icebreaker. You know what I mean? It's really fun to like put people in the box, like, oh, you fit here, you're so much like this. You remind me of like, oh, you're such a, you know. But like, come on, like, let's just be real. Like, there's so many things that determine a person's personality, the way you behave, your upbringing, where you're born, your morals, what you're taught, even your religion. There's just so many factors. So to me, that's like that just can't really work. But it's a pretty fun topic, so I'll actually entertain it. But you're a little, I know you're a little more strict on that. But
Okay, this is what I'll say on this. I'll try to
yeah.
keep this concise. If
Hmm.
if astrology is dominating your worldview,
Hmm.
I would strongly reconsider.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and I'm saying that, but like, okay, part in the like as a party game, as a converse, as an
Hmm.
icebreaker, sure, okay. But
Yeah.
again, if it is, if you're making, if you are spending, I don't know, more than 20 minutes a day, kind of like looking into astrology, and you're not doing it, if you're doing it as an art form, okay, maybe. If you're doing it as looking at it as a science, as a way to how to live your life, again, I would strongly reconsider your position.
It is because I don't know. I think it's because naturally, I think it's kind of fun to put people in a box. So it's like, ooh, like you're like this, you're like that, or you're more prone to. And then I feel like when you start delving into that like that, you're gonna start mimicking that type of behavior because that's
Of
all you're
course.
reading. You know what I mean? You're just subconsciously going into that. So then you're just more driven. But great icebreaker. That's the best thing I could say about that. And like fun topic.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I was reading about the guy who actually
Hmm.
kind of invented that, Carl Jung,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, Carl Young.
he
Yeah.
yeah, it's archetypes. It's kind of to give you
Yeah,
to
archetype. Yeah.
it's yeah.
Hmm. It's a good
Um
one.
yeah, we have
What?
40 seconds left. We're just gonna run
40
this into the
seconds.
ground. Yeah, we could just
All
run it
right.
into the ground.
Your eating habits as of lately are not lately, just as of the past 5 years, 6 years, seven. We could maybe push seven. Wild, right? Mine, I'm relatively consistent. I'm right now on a paleo diet. No, I knew you wouldn't listen to that, but no, mine
No,
have been
paleo
pretty
is fine.
pretty tame. No, paleo. There's no gains, so no gains, but carbo load all day for
Carbo
sure.
load.
Carbo load. Hmm.
Are you eating your protein?
Yeah, PB, oatmeal, and like protein shake.